Hello, welcome back to City Planner Plays, where we are building the city of Verde Beach. And in this episode, we are going to do something that has been much requested. We are going to build a pier right in the tourism area. And this is going to be a very exciting build. I'm very excited to get to it. But I do want to take care of about 4 things before I get there. Now, they're all small, so don't get too excited, I guess. The very first thing I want to take care of is implementing a policy to hopefully prevent some of these fires that we have. Maybe even a few policies. So first of all, let's ban smoking. At the very least, we'd want it near the forested area, but I think in general it'll help the health of the citizens, so that's a good thing. Next, we want to have smoke detector distribution. I think that is potentially a way to prevent some of these forest fires. And I also want to prefer parks. And one of the reasons for this is we're building a big park today. So I'm interested in making this. I'm interested in making the parks really, really, really a big draw for people. I'm noticing this tourism travel card. I haven't implemented this before. Let's see, we receive 8% more tourists, but we have an increased cost in intercity bus network upkeep. That seems like a good policy in my mind. We'll see. We'll do that, and we'll see what happens. The other thing, let's see, is there anything else in here that we want to take a look at? I do think the city's going green, or has been a green city. Why don't we filter into all industrial waste? We'll just have that be a citywide policy. So we've got those couple of things in place. Next thing I want to do, so someone pointed out that they thought that I could indeed add a signal to this crossing. So after the episode was complete, I took a look, and sure enough, you can add a stop sign or a signal. So I'm going to add a signal here. And this will be the actuator that will allow pedestrians to get across, or at least to simulate an actuator. I don't think we actually have one, no. But still, not bad. Not bad at all. This will prevent traffic from backing up, from having pedestrians constantly crossing this. So that, in my mind, is a pretty darn good improvement. Next, this is one that's kind of been off everyone's radar, including mine. But if you look at this asset right here, there's an issue. So there is supposed to be sea life around it. After all, this is the sea life enclosure. And you kind of see there's some stuff in the water, but not sea life. So I know the problem here. The problem is it's not deep enough. So let's dredge this out. So we'll get it maybe about this deep. And then let's increase our abilities here, and we'll get this dredged. Okay, so that's good. So now you can see some of that sea life. I don't know if we're deep enough just yet. I might want to go just a scotch deeper. And then to make this a little bit prettier, I am going to feather this out along this ridge. So the idea being that I've kind of created a bowl for this sea life to actually operate in. So once this fills up, I think it's going to look really nice, and at least now we'll see some of those dolphins and whales and manatees and things like that we haven't been seeing. I do think maybe I want to extend this just a little bit more. I've been really cautious because of the soil availability, and we're going to use this soil today, so I'm not overly concerned about maxing it out, but I don't want to run into a spot where I can't finish this because I have too much soil. So I do think I want to, well, no. I wanted to put some grasses. That said, I can't actually do it. So I like these grasses because I think they make the shoreline just blend in a little bit more. But you can't put them underneath this building, unfortunately, which is kind of interesting because I can go up and get it really close and overlap, but I can't actually go underneath it. Oh well, I think it's in a better spot, and that's what I wanted to address. This will fill up over time, this bowl, and it'll drain out the way that it normally did. I do want to look at this as well. We are going to use a little bit of eminent domain. We allowed these homeowners to build a little bit too close to the shoreline, which is a problem. So, goodbye. And we'll let something build there, but we don't want it to be quite so extreme because we want this water to kind of flow naturally through here. So that will oh, dang it. Well, it wouldn't be Verde Beach without a gigantic fire to start the day out. So, elephant enclosure. I'm so sorry, elephants. I don't see any elephants in here, which to me is a pretty bad sign. All right, well, you know, it's not a good spot. Next, so I see these, so I did a little bit of sandboxing, and one of the things I noticed is that these, so early on I put these university buildings in place, and having them active even siphons attendance from these other university buildings, even though they're off. It's still siphoning attendance, or it appeared to be. So I'm going to eliminate these buildings. We'll do something here in the future. Not quite sure yet. Maybe actually I'll just extend this. Maybe I'll just extend this district over a little bit and allow some offices to spring up around this area. Yeah, that'll fit in well. We can reuse that landscaping and those paths, and it'll fit well. So look at that. So even though this area burned not down, but it burned, it didn't completely get destroyed. Well, good. And this appears to be filling it. We're going to check back on this at the end of the episode to make sure that it's operating the way that we expect it to. But there is one more thing I want to do, and that is, our electrical consumption. Oh, we're okay. I thought we were in a worse spot with this. That said, I'm going to put us in a worse spot because I think I want to eliminate this. These at this point are a number of years old. It'd be up for rebuilding anyway, and we no longer need to get power across the water. I want to keep that vista, and we'll keep our power on our side of the shore. We are, now that I've deleted those, in a dicier situation. So I do think I want to think about power more in the future, but right now, let's just continue our solar. Ooh, that's ugly. That is still ugly. Let's do something super realistic. Call a mulligan on this earthquake sensor. Move it over a little bit so that we can get these solar plants right next to each other, and then we'll try to figure out this grading. It's not perfect, but I do think some landscaping could probably help with this. So I might just add a little bit of landscaping now and then move on. Okay, so this does a couple of things. It provides a little bit of screening when you're driving by. There's all this mess of stuff that you would, maybe not be super excited to see. So it provides a little bit of screening and buffering from that industrial area, and it does it in a place that's not super polluted. There is some pollution. You can see some of these trees, not looking great, but it's not as bad as it could be. That said, let's move on to the main attraction. So, we are going to go over to Amarillo. That should be Amarillo Shores. So we're going to go over to Amarillo Shores, and I think where we're going to put this amusement pier is going to be off 3rd Street. So what I want to do is really start out by getting the height of 3rd Street and just bringing it down. And then we're going to eliminate a little bit of this trail that we have established. We'll come back to that in the future. So I do think we're going to go all the way over to Jackson for the width. This is going to be kind of a fat pier. And I know that there's something I want to do with Sterling Boulevard, or Sterling Zoo Boulevard. So we're going to do a lot of leveling. So I said we're going to need this soil. We are going to need this soil. So now the question is, how far out do we go? I'm going to take it a ways out. Okay, so now we have this nice base to work from. And you might be wondering, without the Move It mod, or without, the key anarchy, how are we going to make this work? It doesn't seem super doable. Well, I am here to assure you that it is. And we're going to make it happen. Let's get a nice 90. And I want to think about how wide I want this to be. I might go a full 10 tiles over. So let's figure out how far 10 is and get to the most even 10 we can. So I'm just going to use this as kind of my guide to bring things up. And this is very large. We might not use all of this, but we are going to use some. Next, I'm going to take kind of the one of the lower shorelines and just kind of trace along the edge of this road. And this is where I'm trying to create a nice space for my key wall. I am going to need to pull this out a little bit. We'll just kind of start to bury it a little bit there, or flatten it out along the road. We'll bring it out probably a tile or two. All right, so now we need to start thinking about our key wall. So I want to make sure I have road guidelines on, because that's how I'm going to get this thing to be straight. You see right there, one even tile. And I think I'm going to bring this over. So we already have this over 10. Mirror that over here. And do the exact same thing. Whoops. Got a little crooked there. So we're going to take the same idea. Grab a spot near shore and just kind of pull that up. And then make sure that we have at least one tile. And now we will mirror our road connection and our other key wall and build that right there. Perfect. Next, we're going to eliminate this road and connect right across. Perfect. So now it's just a little bit of cleanup to make this work. So that's a lot of grading, so we're going to take care of that right now. We are going to respect the topography here and try to build things up to where it should be. All right, when I said we're going to respect the topography, I meant now. Now we're going to respect the topography. Whoops. Actually, now. So I'm just going through and I'm grabbing some of my grades and just trying to... First of all, I want to smooth out along the wall. I want to make sure that we don't have any ridges of dirt along the side. So really get this cleaned up. And then I want to bring over these grade lines. We'll do the same thing over here. And then from there, it's a whole lot of feathering. So let's do that now as well. So now you can see that these key walls go a little bit further than maybe we'd want them to. So I'm going to back them out just a little bit. And even this road, I think we're going to want to try to mirror this into our normal roadway network. All right, so we've got like we've got a nice little roadway network built here, and I think we're about ready to get going on this. I do want to be mindful of the path network that I had created before, so I'm going to continue that. And we might actually, now that I think about it, want to take this amusement park back a little bit further. We're going to have a lot of rides. So I might start this a little bit closer to shore. All right, much better. So now we have a nice base for our amusement park, and I'm really, really liking where this is going. So the very first thing we need to do is actually get our park area established. So we'll pick the amusement park. We'll put up the main gate. It's clicking to these spots, and neither of them are where I actually want this to be. No worries. We will get this figured out. All right. So now we've unlocked all of the things. So basically all of the level 1 amenities that we can place. I just want to make sure that this is fairly straight. The way that I'm going to test that will be by using the grid. Yeah, it's a little bit off. I don't know that I can get any better. So this will have to be good enough. So I need to get power and water to this area, and I know I probably should do that before I do anything else besides maybe this, and that is extend this district over to the new pier. And while I'm doing this, there's another thing I was thinking about a little bit. I think this whole beach area should probably be a park, and we will figure this out in the future. But we're going to be park heavy. I'd rather be park heavy than park light. We'll make this something really, really basic, like the Verde Beach beachfront. So what are we going to name this park? I'm thinking, so there is a family that is prominent in the community. We have the Lewis family, we have the Sterling family, and now we have the Hamilton family. So why don't we have the Hamilton family create the Hamilton experience? All right, so the Hamilton experience is the most wonderful park in the city. It has nothing in it. All right, so to get power and water to this area, what I'm thinking is it'd be really nice to have some things in this area. So what we're gonna do, I like that. A little play on Hamilton. We have Franklin Hills. So these districts can get so ugly, and I hate it, but it could be worse. What we're going to do here with this district is I'm going to actually make this a leisure district. And hopefully this leisure specialization will draw people into this area. And that'll be how we get power to the park. So the other thing that I'm thinking is, if we really want to draw people into this area, it might be really beneficial to have a resort. So with one of the creators packs, we actually got a resort. So it's this resort hotel. I think it's from the Japanese cities pack. I might just place that right here and have really nice access to this amusement park from the resort. So that said, I want to grade this area first if I'm going to... Oh, you know what? I think I already did. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. So we're going to back this off a little bit from the road, and then we'll need to reconfigure our trail locations. But this is great. I like this. Oh, we're going to have one of those connections that just drives me bonkers. So I'm going to redo it. I know this is just kind of a personal pet peeve, but it looks so much nicer. And we'll do some of this decorating maybe a little bit later when we're waiting for our new park to level up. Nice, smooth, blends right in. We just need some water. All right, let's get some water here. We will loop this. We will run it under the roads because that is where water pipes go. So now we've got this great little entertainment district right on the beach. We'll probably throw in some, some tropical trees, make this a little bit more interesting a little bit down the line. For the time being, we need to start thinking about the Hamilton experience. So, first things first, we need to start with some paths. So I absolutely do not want these roads to connect. That is a non-starter. So, we won't do that. We are going to bring this out as close as it will let us get. I want to use this initially as a guide to make sure that I can kind of get this all lined up. And down the line, we'll make this a little better. I guess we could kind of clean it up a little bit now. Much better. And then the last thing I think I want to do is create a nice connection around here. And I don't know that we actually need that connection just yet. But this will be the general outline of the park. And we're going to want to put some fences up to keep the ruffians out. Unless, of course, they pay, then we will let them in. And we'll clean that up with a little bit of landscaping. But I think that this would make some sense. Keep people who are in the park, and keep people who are not supposed to be in the park out of the park. Perfect. So now this is the park that everyone wants to go to. You could see this green guy jumping up and down at the gates, welcoming you to the largest beach volleyball court in the world with no nuts. All right, so let's start building some stuff. So this right here is the amusement park plaza. So to me, this makes sense to have this right in the front. Get that nice and centered in there. You walk right in, and now we get this thing. This is a Chirper mascot, but in green. Perfect. So now the fun is clearly beginning. So next, I'm thinking it might be nice to get a road across here. Not a road, but a path connection. Just to delineate, give people some options. And we'll start out, I think at the start of the park, we want some cafes, souvenir shops, and restrooms. Make a ton of sense to me. So right now, this is the restroom. Gotta put that off in the corner. The cafe. Put that near the front. Then a souvenir shop. Could sneak that on the other side, maybe. Nope. It's where that artful road layout, or the trail layout, is a bit of a hindrance. So maybe we'll modify just a bit. If we're going to call a mulligan, this is probably a good time to do it. It's very early on. No harm, no foul. The only harm is our fence is now gone. It's okay. We'll get that back. And this will clearly be significantly more challenging than I had hoped, because that's the way it usually goes. Either way, I'm going to take this as a win because I like this new fence a heck of a lot more than the old one. I think it contours to that trail and looks a lot nicer. So, what are we looking at in our park area in terms of entertainment? Not good. Visitors, 3. Well, I wouldn't visit this place either, truthfully. So, and that's because we don't have any rides. We don't have any games. So let's get some games and some rides. So how about a walk right to the carousel as soon as you get in, and then maybe have some games right up front as well. Yeah, that's great. And I like to, let's keep up with the landscaping as we go. Now, one thing we could do here to kind of clean things up is start to think about whether it would make some sense to place some decorative tiles just to line things up. Not perfect, but not bad. These trees are definitely in the wrong spot now. Oh, shoot. But that's okay. There. So now it looks nice and clean. So what are we looking at in terms of fun now? All right, plenty of entertainment. So let's speed this along. And in the meantime, I kind of want to focus on some other stuff that we are missing, like this landscaping here. And I think another trail maybe behind this resort might be nice to have. So I was just thinking, we've learned a lesson from a park mistake of the past. And so we've had 10 visitors. And there's a good reason for that. We need an advertisement campaign. We want this to be a main park. We want to celebrate. We want night tours someday. We don't have any tours set up, but we'll have that anyway. Even more fun and recycle garbage. So recycling garbage, even more fireworks. This is going to be an awesome spot. And because they can't take away these parks being awesome, let's take the zoo and the nature reserve, and those aren't main parks anymore. They're just parks. Let's start pumping people into the Hamilton experience. And let me tell you what the Hamilton experience is all about. It's about mascots. It's about a carousel. It's about games. It's about a bathroom. And maybe a place to grab a bite to eat. But let's see if people like it more now. Look at that. Visitors just clamoring to get to the Hamilton experience. How about this resort? Not that many people yet, but I think this is going to start to really see some massive improvements. So let's worry about trees. And actually, maybe we need to think about some other neat amenities for this area. So in these the creators pack, I know that we have some other interesting amenities. I wonder if I use the nightclub. Music club. That's what I was thinking. Wow, that is huge. Okay, why don't we place this though? We're going to use some eminent domain. And we'll place this. Oh. Rotating teacups and a piggy train. That is the Hamilton experience. Alright, so let's get this music club placed, and then we'll start to place our new amenities. So I think this would be just kind of another neat thing to draw people to this area. That's what we want. So we don't have transit in this area. We do have fires. So that's another thing. There, we're a couple blocks away. We have an underground metro station right here. You know, we have the tram line right here. But that's kind of the extent of what we have for transit. So people are walking to get here. So we're going to want to give them stuff to do. We're also going to want to create an interesting pedestrian experience. And if you look at the pedestrian level, I can't think of any place in the city, urban place, that's quite this interesting. You got the ocean in the background. You've got this Japanese resort. You've got this building that looks like it could be in Nashville. You know, pretty interesting place. And then karaoke fits right in. Perfect. And then you got the Hamilton experience. Chipperland. All right, so let's keep building. So we've got a couple more things. The carousel, we've already placed that. The piggy train. The perfect ride for your child. The piggy train. Put that right there. And we also had the rotating teacups. So this is a smaller ride. So I think maybe we'll place that over here. Actually, let's add another redundant path so people have options when they're walking around. All right, we've got the rotating teacups. Beautiful. And I think right here we're going to do something. We're going to fill this in with something. But let's take a look at our next level up experience. It's going to be a little ways down the line. We're almost totally balanced in terms of our income and expenses, but we can fix this. Let's $15 a ticket. Seems fair. Now we're making money. We've got plenty of entertainment, so let's do a little bit more though. So I think we could make our own seating area. Actually, let's do even better than that. Let's have a little kind of arcade type thing going on right here. That is the wrong direction. And then maybe we'll have some places to grab a bite to eat over here as well. Buy a balloon for your child. And then take a load off. Oh, this one bugs me. Maybe I just need to not ever get that close. Because I don't think it's possible to really make it look great. All right. Good enough for now. So we're going to need some wayfinding in here. I think that's one of the things that not just, players of the game will forget, but, in cities, wayfinding is one of the first things to go to. So let's fix that. Now, one thing I want to do, we've got this in the middle of the day. I kind of want to see how this does at night, because I think that that's when people would be excited to come here. So, through the magic of YouTube, let's do that now. All right, looking good. Actually, let's go a little bit darker. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking for. Now we've got some fireworks going. This is the place to be. Look at that beautiful skyline. Look at those garbage icons. Just Lighten up. Everyone's got trash. But it's getting picked up. We're good. All right, so Hamilton experience. We're doing very, very well. So why don't we focus a little bit on this park area along the shore? So I made the Verde Beach beachfront a park because I want people to come here like it's a park. So there are some things that we can do to attract people here. So I think I want to draw from a variety of park amenities and place them in this area, but I want them to make sense. So something like a pier. Oh, no main gate. Interesting. So I have to have a main gate somewhere to make this a real park, or they're not going to allow it. So we'll put a small main gate there. I think this would be another natural place for a main gate, or a side gate rather. Okay, I think we're good there. Oh, power failure. What is going on? Our nighttime power issues because we put a solar plant in. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Gonna pause. So, I think we might need to think about another type of power. So, our deficit right now is about 100 megawatts. Not even an oil plant is going to do good enough for us because that's actually that would be just enough. Now that I look at it, I really don't want to do that. So geothermal would not be enough. Solar updraft probably would have been a better choice than what I put in. I'm going to call a mulligan and replace this bad boy. All right. We'll see if that fixes things. Kind of. So our production is now bad, but not horrible. Oh, no, we're better. We're fixed. We're good. All right. We're celebrating at the Hamilton experience. We've got some main gates. Let's get things connected. All right, had to do a little bit of modification there to get rid of some of the weird lumpies and bumpies, but we're in a much better spot. So now we could place some of our park facilities in this area if we wanted to. So the easiest ones to place are probably going to be these gazebos. And truthfully, I think they get a lot of use. So let's place a couple of gazebos. Get some nice views from these gazebos. Look at that. Be able to sit here and take a look right at the volcano. Perfect. Now there is some weird grade stuff going on here, so I do want to address that right off the bat. Not going to neglect this because we don't do that in Verde Beach. And we'll do the exact same thing over here. All right. Very good. All right, and we've leveled up with a swinging boat, a house of horrors, and bumper cars. So this is interesting. This reminds me a bit of Bay Beach in Green Bay, except that we would have the ticket price be basically free. So let's get these placed now. All right, so we've got this swinging boat, and again, pretty small. We'll place that near some of the smaller stuff. So the House of Horrors is kind of a weird amenity, and I think I kind of want to spread it out a little bit. So what we're going to do is kind of create a place a little bit off the beaten path for this particular park amenity. So now we've kind of got this off in its own little area, and I do think that we're at a spot now where we're far enough away that we might want to start thinking about placing another restroom facility and maybe even another cafe. Perfect. Now I kind of want this House of Horrors to blend in a little bit, so I'm going to line it up and then surround it with some big trees. Yeah, I like that. You'd come up and you'd see this, and it's kind of looming in the back there. Perfect. So what's not perfect is we have no water to this part of the park, so we're going to need to take care of that now. Explosions, fireworks going wild, and we are not serving the area with water. So that's dangerous. And no problem with water going underneath fences. It's at the owner's risk. Just got to understand that if for some reason that fence needs to come up, it needs to come up, and the owner's paying for it. So no issue there. So we had a power thing, so I think we're having some power oscillation. I'm a little curious about that. I don't know what's going on that's causing that. We don't have traffic that's causing a backup. My guess is it's just nighttime. So we'll have to deal a little bit. All right, so the next thing I want to do, a little bit more landscaping. This is the landscaping simulator, after all. So there's kind of a weird, awkward spot in between carousel and this path. Let's make it blend in a little bit more. We want this to feel cohesive, and that's the main goal here. So let's take another look at what we need. We need about another 1,000 guests. We have plenty of entertainment. You know, I thought that this park was going to be far too big to fit everything in, or too big for the things that we were going to fit in, but you can see it's filling right up, and we've still got a lot of stuff to place in here. Some big things. We've got the roller coaster, a Ferris wheel, a pendulum ride, and the drop tower ride. Really the things that define the park, that make it interesting. So let's take a look. We did place these bumper cars. So that reminds me of Bay Beach. I used to go there as a kid. You know, I want to say it was like a quarter or 50 cents a ride in Green Bay. And right on the coast, right on the shore. It was really a pleasant place to go as a kid. Really enjoyed that. This, though, you know, I wish that I had the ability to create a wooden pier to kind of go off. This is kind of giving me some Santa Monica vibes. If it were half as wide and had commercial, I guess a little more integrated into it. But I think it's good. I think it's real good. Okay, so one of the things I like about, or that I like the idea of that isn't quite panning out the way I'd hoped, is I put this resort here. There are, you know, some people going to it, not as many as I had hoped. And I had hoped that this parking lot would fill up and kind of look like people were using the resort as a place to go. They'd have some sort of deal with the amusement park and, you know, have some synergy there. I don't think we're seeing that necessarily. So we're going to force some synergy. The Hamilton Experience Resort Hotel is the longest name ever, but it is very direct to what this place is. All right, and as I'm landscaping, we get the drop tower ride and the pendulum ride. So we'll place those in just a second. I am going to finish up this landscaping because I love it. I love it. I love placing tropical landscaping. It's probably because I don't see it and it's fun and exotic to me, even though it wasn't at one point in my life. Okay, so now I want to place these rides. So these are really defining in terms of the skyline. So this is something that you're going to see when you come up. So I'm going to place that right here. And the pendulum ride, that's bigger, actually. We might be moving that ride. I'm getting concerned about space. We might need to extend this out just a little bit. So we'll place the pendulum ride on the other side, and I do want to place a little bit more landscaping around this haunted house, just to kind of keep the spooky vibe up. I do think that this could be another area where apparently I place another pendulum ride. I think this could be a nice seating area here. Give parents a beat, a moment to breathe. So let's create that area. Now I wanted to put lighting in there because I think it's really important that we think about lighting. In fact, I think that by default the lighting's probably not good enough in this area. So one of the things that I look at when I'm reviewing projects, for instance, is I want to make sure that there's plenty of light for pedestrians, and there's a certain level of foot candles or brightness at the ground level that we would expect to see. And I actually end up collecting lighting studies from all developers to make sure that there's enough light. So you can see that there's a difference between this area and this area, and that is because I added that one extra light. So there's a dark area right here that I would add a light to. So if you wanted to get really good about this, really specific, you would add these extra lights because it's not good enough in the game, in my humble opinion. And let's be honest, the last thing you'd want at an amusement park is a dark area where someone could jump out and steal your tokens or whatever. So let's make sure we don't have any of those areas. We do have one of those weird gaps here with landscaping, so I think I am going to throw in a couple of trees. It'll be the most lush theme park in the world. So, all right, where are we at now? Oh, we are just about a little under 3,000 visitors away from creating a 5-star amusement park pier, where we will get our crowning jewels of the park, the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel. Now let's take a look. I just kind of, so you're coming in on a boat and this is what you see. That is phenomenal. It's gonna get even better. That said, I am seeing some things I don't love. I saw it over here. I want to fix this. I'm going to get a little bit OCD about this. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should. So I'm going to use the right mouse button just to lower it around here. Let's see what that does. Actually, that right mouse button raised it. So that was the absolute wrong thing to do. Do not listen to me sometimes. Sometimes I give you bad advice. But if you say bad advice convincingly enough, sometimes it sounds right. Oh, it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. I'll go lower. You know, it's a little better. Still a little bit of work that could be done over here. All right, that's much better. And let's zoom out one more time. Oh yeah, look at that. It looks like a totally unnatural projection into the ocean with a gigantic beacon showing the world this is Verde Beach. I love it. So we have one more level to reach, and I think I'm gonna let this just go for a second while we do that. Look at that, the fires at night. Kind of want to just go around the city and take a look, because we don't get this night view often. And that actually reminds me, there's one more thing I really wanted to do. So there was a comment about the path network at the university that we built. And the comment was basically that we probably should go underneath this bridge for a path. And I actually sandboxed this prior to filming the episode about the university, but I decided against it for one primary reason. It wasn't what just happened now. So the main reason was that when I gave it a shot, this is interesting. This is worse than it was before. Let's just make sure that this is actually the height for this. I do not like this. This is a wonderful place to get mugged. Well, I guess it's a choice that people can make. So basically, because I have this bridge here, you can't connect up to the bridge. You're going underneath the bridge, so you're actually connecting up over here by the university library. So that's quite a hike. So I guess if you wanted to get to the university library, this would be a very direct route. But I don't think, from the standpoint of, I guess, utility, it makes a ton of sense. That said, sometimes you have paths that are there for either looks or for a very specific person in mind. That said, we just created some really ugly terrain, and I want to cover that up as best I can. Much better. Look at that beautiful sky. Oh, no. All right, here we are again. Well, I guess repairing this is a good task while we're waiting. I think I am going to take it back to day, though. Oh, that's painful. So, we rebuild. We are Verde Beach. So, it's funny that the fires used to bum me out, but at this point, I'm so used to them that it just feels like what should be happening here. So I'd love to say that this was a plan, but sometimes you have kind of a happy accident where you didn't think ahead and you still got lucky. We've been preserving this view shed now for a while, and I placed this resort, the Hamilton Experience, and the drop tower ride didn't interrupt this view at all. So I did receive some feedback that it's pretty weird and unnatural that there's really no landscaping. It's kind of bereft of landscaping. Whoa. Oh, the pain. The entire zoo is burning down. All right, well, while the zoo's burning down, nothing really that I can do about that besides be sad. So I might as well do some landscaping, I suppose. Wow. So even with our new policies, it's just the natural disasters DLC is very, very harsh. So I guess if you're looking at buying DLCs and you don't have natural disasters, just know what you're in for. You're gonna have some interesting times. That's all. Now I feel like I've done my part. I added more landscaping so that if this burns down, the entire preserve will burn down. So I've done my part. All right, so let's rebuild. Okay, well, I think we're operational again. So I think everything in the zoo has burned down except for maybe the flamingo enclosure and the sea life enclosure, which is finally working. So everything else has basically burned down. I guess rhinos and monkeys didn't burn down, or rhinos and lions didn't burn down. But, you know, it wasn't a good experience that they had. Okay, Hamilton experience. Oh, we don't have enough entertainment. Wow, how do we miss the entertainment? Completely messed that up. So I know that chairs and things like that do add a little bit. Let's see how much this adds. Out of curiosity. So we have 1904. So if we add a place to buy balloons. 1906. So that was 2. Wow, that's going to be a very, very, very challenging experience to get this upgraded if we go 2 at a time. So we're not going to do that. I do think we're going to add this over here, though. Where are we at now? 18. All right, so what else could we add over here to make people happy? I think a game booth would make some sense. But let's add another path if we're going to add the game booth. Maybe we'll just add that game booth over here. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to fit exactly as I was hoping, so this might get relocated a little bit after the fact, because I think we're going to hit the milestone as soon as I place this. Yes, there we are. Roller coaster, Ferris wheel. So, let's get those placed before this amusement park burns to the ground. Because you know it's coming. It's coming. Alright, so this roller coaster is massive, if I recall correctly. Yes. It fits perfectly right there. Now, this could fit really well. Wow. We could have built the perfect sized park. I think we did. I think this is perfect. That couldn't be any better. I am so happy with how this turned out. Look at that. That is perfect. I do think we want to do a little bit of landscaping to clean this up, to finish this up. We also have this path here that really doesn't do anything anymore, so I just get rid of that and we'll add landscaping instead. Alright, we'll do that now. Okay. This is looking fantastic. Let's slow things down. We don't need to encourage a fire. Let's just take a quick look. Look at that. Fantastic. And through one more little bit of YouTube magic, let's go into night mode. Okay. I love this part of the city. This might be one of my favorite parts, one of my favorite builds so far, because there's just so much to do over here. This would be a place that people want to go to. We need to get some transit in this area, but we've got a lot of pedestrian connections. Truthfully, we might even want to take this area and start to think about bike connections as well. We don't really have much in this area, You could probably take this road, and I don't know where our bike network ends at this point. Yeah, we'll need to take a look at that. Maybe that's a coming episode. You kind of see people circulating through here to get to the Hamilton experience, which at this point is pretty amazing. So we will kind of zoom around a little bit and take a look. Yeah, I just love that. I love the idea of coming into the city. So you're flying in to the airport that doesn't exist. You're landing on Sterling Zoo Boulevard. And the first thing you see is all of this excitement. Yeah, I like that. So that does leave me with one more thing that we need to take care of, and that is road naming. We'll extend Jackson down, but I think I want to give this road something different. So generally, this is highly discouraged. Never name a street after a business, because as soon as that business goes out of business, you are stuck with something like Shopko Avenue, which they're littered throughout the state of Wisconsin. Shopko Avenues, you can't rename them because, for instance, Flex Gym has all their business cards that say Hamilton Experience Avenue. And they are not going to be very excited about changing all their business cards or the sign on their door that says Hamilton Experience Avenue. So even if Hamilton Experience changes its name, this road name is probably staying what it is. So I guess I'm letting you know that this is a bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway because I like it. So that's why things happen sometimes. So I really hope that you enjoyed this build. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything you would have done differently or if there's anything you'd like me to improve. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care, and stay tuned for this brief cinematic. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters at the Community Development Director level. Their names are listed here. Here's the cinematic. Thank you.